Here we are at the beginning of March. This week's word of the week is going to be stinger. Common term used in the shielded metal arc welding process for the electrode holder. I'm not sure if this is a slang term or where it came from. I did the old Google search on why do they call the electrode holder for stick welding a stinger, and I couldn't really find anything that had any kind of value. So I'm not sure if this is an actual slang word, but you definitely need to know it because it's used quite frequently in the welding industry. If somebody says, hand me the stinger, and you have no idea what they're talking about, or if you hand them, I don't know, the ground clamp or something, it's not going to make you look good. The electrode holder is definitely the proper term for this. But you'll look at trying to buy electrode holders online, and a lot of them say electrode holder or stinger. And that is just the clamp that clamps the rod into it that you strike an arc with on whatever you're welding. And there's two basic types here, and I kind of drew, I'm not the best artist, but we're going to go out in the lab and I'll show you two real ones here in a second anyways. But this is probably the most popular and most common you'll see right here. You squeeze this here, this opens up, and your welding rod goes in right there. The inside of this, I did kind of a blow up over here of what that looks like. This is the inside of it, and the outside has like an insulator on it. This is all copper where it actually touches the welding rod. The reason they got to have that insulator is if you put it down on the table and there's no insulator, the copper is going to short out on the table. So if this gets broke, people will set it down and it'll short out and you'll have problems. But you can see this is copper in here. This right here is a groove so that you can have the rod going straight out of the electrode holder or the stinger. These grooves here are so you can have it pointed up or pointed down depending on what position you're doing. If you're doing a vertical up, typically you're going to want it pointed up. That's what the inside of this one looks like. The other type over here actually screws on. So this head right here twists around. Your welding rod goes in this little hole right here, and as you tighten that up, it pinches the rod. The inside, this is turned like this. So kind of a front view, if you will. This is what it looks like, and this is the hole right here. And you can see again, insulator, then you got copper right here, and it kind of looks like a little rod that comes up. And as you tighten the head on this goes up to clamp on to the actual electrode. And then if you want to angle it, you just bend the rod. But like I said, we'll go out in the lab here and we'll show you these two types. And we'll also show you how to install one on the whip or the cable that you're attaching into your stinger or electrode holder. So we'll go out in the lab here and we'll look at these two types live and in person. These are the two different kinds of stingers that we were talking about when we were on the whiteboard there. That's your clamp type right there. We'll scroll over here, and that is your screw type. What we'll do now is we'll kind of show you the inside, the grooves that are in the clamp type, and show you how the screw type works here. So we just opened up the clamp type stinger here, and you can see all the grooves in there, and that's so you can put the electrodes at different angles here. So we'll go ahead and throw an electrode in there and kind of show you the different angles. I actually, on the illustration that I drew on the board, I forgot about the one that goes straight out the top, and there's also one below that goes at 90. So you got lots of different options there. So let's take a look at it with an electrode in it. So if we're looking at all the grooves here, this is typically what is used, 90 degrees right out, but the other grooves allow you to, if you're doing like a vertical up, you want to be pointed up so you have that groove go up. If you had to get into an area where you couldn't quite get into and you got to do a weird angle with a trailing angle, you can do that. Or if you have limited access and you have to put it in a tight space, you can go straight out the top. Those are all the grooves that are in the clamp type electrode holder. So now we'll kind of look at the twist electrode holder or stinger and show you how that works. This is our twist type stinger. I got it in a vise here, and now I'm going to turn the handle, and you can see that little copper nub is tightening down. I'll loosen it up here again, and that's what clamps the electrode into the stinger. They're real nice. They give you a lot more control because you don't have such a big electrode holder or stinger there. So what we'll do is we'll put a rod in it and show you how to tighten it up here. With a twist type stinger, you put your electrode in and then you twist the handle, or the head if it had an actual whip on it, and that makes it so you can't get it out. Now the good thing about this is you can just bend the rod wherever you want the angle to be. So you can just take it and go like this, or if you're doing a vertical up, you know, whatever you want for your angle. That's the benefit of these. That's why I like these stingers. What we'll do now is we'll go and we'll switch out the clamp type stinger on one that I found that was completely roached. It wouldn't even maintain an arc because it was so shot that it wouldn't even conduct electricity. So we'll switch that out and just show you how to put a stinger on an actual electrode cable. So we'll get it done here. This is the stinger we're going to switch out here, and you can see it's in rough shape. It's on a generator welder. They typically see a lot more abuse. They're out in the mud and the blood. So yeah, we're going to switch this out here. It's pretty simple. So we'll get starting. We'll start out with the tear down of this one here real quick. All right, the first thing we're going to start with here is got to get an Allen wrench set. Have you ever seen one of these actually stay complete? We're missing some, but we have the one we need. You just turn this Allen wrench out. You don't have to take it out very far, and then you can see that releases the handle. What we'll do now, see how rusted and corroded that is? So we're going to take that second Allen screw. Oh, I have to do a little more here. They heat up and cool down a lot, so the threads usually are pretty hard to get off, especially when they're rusted and corroded. See if we can get it. There we go. Now, looking at that, it's pretty nasty, so we're going to snip this off and get some new copper showing here. So let me grab, I got some big shears that we can nip that off with. So we got our big shears, and it didn't nip them all, did it? And all you gotta do now is just cut the insulation back now, and we'll be ready to put on the new stinger there. They're not as sharp as they used to be. So we'll go get a knife and cut this back to about right here, and then we'll be ready to put the new one on. So we cleaned her up a little bit. Now we're just going to take this knife and cut, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch back on the insulation. Maybe it's an inch, somewhere around there. So now we got brand new copper showing. Clean that up a little better. So now we're ready to put the new holder on. This one doesn't take a hex, it takes a Phillips screwdriver, so we're just going to loosen this up. This is the biggest thing people forget to do. You need to take this, the handle here, and put it on the cable before you attach the rest of the stinger. And this has got actually 2 hold downs, so we're going to loosen those up. Hopefully they don't fall out on us. We're going to insert that into the hole there. And this is just pushing that copper wire down into the stinger or electrode holder to make good contact. You want good contact, otherwise you'll get electrical resistance, causing heat, and it'll eventually burn up. Yeah, so that's tight. Let's see. So now we're going to bring our handle up. Looks like we're going to have to loosen it a little bit more. It doesn't want to go on. There it is. There we go. So you can see that's the hole. And you tighten that down. Apparently I can't get in there. Let's see here. There it is. It's back on there. That's all it is. So it's pretty easy to assemble. Should be ready to go here. So that does it for our word of the week, Stinger. Until next time, thanks for watching and subscribing to TV Weld. We're out.